It's the Friday Night Frenzy on News 18. Sports from where you live.
It's the best time of the week once again. We are back with another edition of our Friday Night Frenzy. I'm your host, Bree Shackelford, and as always, it is wonderful to see you here tonight. We have 7 games for you on our Week 8 slate, and it may have been cold outside, but these games were straight fire. We'll kick our show off, as always, with our Game of the Week. Sports 18's Kelly Hallinan joins us with more from Logansport. Kelly?
When you travel just under an hour for a Frenzy game, you hope that it's going to be a good matchup, and it definitely was this time as Harrison took on Logansport. Let's check out how this week's Game of the Week went. The Berries are loud and excited to go for some Friday night football, and the band is ready to go too. Logansport defense gets to work early, getting to Ben Henderson and forcing a fumble. Luis Ortiz right here recovering it for the Berries. But it's not going to be that easy. Ben Henderson does what he does best and runs the ball into the end zone to put the Raiders on the board first. Harrison leads 7-0. But it's the Berries' turn to score. Isaac Mock throws it deep to Chris Renee, who gets his hands on it and leaps over the goal line into the end zone to tie things up 7-7. Logansport defense stayed strong for the rest of the first half, not letting Harrison get into the end zone. But the Raiders got pretty close here. 3rd and 8. Brendan Gothrop set to punt. Just kidding. Here he goes and goes, gaining major yardage, getting that first down. But the score would stay 7-7 at the half.
For us to be 7-7 with these guys at halftime is right where we needed to be, right where we want to be.
Obviously, we're having some issues, but we're still in a good place. And hopefully we play better in the second half.
And play better they did after 2 successful field goals. Here, Harrison gets a stop, forcing a fumble, and Rhett Pearson recovers it for the Raiders. Moments later, Harrison pushes their way into the end zone for their second TD of the night. 2-point conversion attempt, it's good. Raiders up 21-7. It doesn't stop here. Henderson hands it off to Chris Ferguson, who runs 48 yards and scores. Harrison goes up 28-7 in the 4th quarter. Berries are trying to stay in it. Here's Chris Renee with a big run to get Logansport in scoring position, and they are able to get it done thanks to Luis Ortiz, who dives into the end zone. But that wouldn't be enough, and Harrison would come out on top, defeating Logansport 28-13 and improving to 7-1 on the season.
We knew we were in a great position at halftime. 7-7. A lot of close games at halftime, but we knew we stick to our principles, stick to our rules, we'd stick it out. We found a way to win. It was a hard fight, it was a dog fight, and we just found a way to win.
It was a close game, very even matchup back and forth, but Harrison was able to get some stops in the 4th quarter and stay on top. Reporting for Game of the Week, Kelly Hallinan, Sports.
Usual, turning now out west, Central Catholic Knights traveled to Benton Central for a conference game. And let's just say things didn't go too well for BC. I mean, right off the bat, CC is showing us they're going to take this game because in just a few short drives, they were in the red zone. Ball gets handed to star running back Baylor Smith, who gets the first tutty for his team. But let's see what happens on defense. Bison are ready to drive down the field with a run here, but the Knights force a fumble, and it looks like Albert Schwartz will recover it, and Knights get back on offense once again. Now it's time for another big play, and that'll come from quarterback Ben Mazer right here as he decides to carry it himself and run into the end zone and almost me. And you can definitely tell he's pretty pumped up after that last play. Central Catholic would be lights out the rest of the night and end the game in a shutout. Final score, CC dominates 51-0. Now down south, we have another conference matchup as the Frankfort Hot Dogs are taking on the North Montgomery Charging Chargers. The cold weather seemed to cool off the Hot Dogs because QB Ross Dyson is just gashing this Frankfort defense as he gets into the end zone seemingly untouched. And here's my favorite part about this play. Yeah, make sure not to celebrate too hard, guys. Later on, it's Dyson again, and this time showing us that he can throw as well. Pass is complete to Drew Norman, who has clearly been in the weight room after fighting to get into the end zone. Just like that, it's another 6 for the Charging Chargers. And it seems like this team is really living up to its name tonight as Austin Sulk charges forward, slipping through the defense as if they were not there, and once again puts more points up for his team. Hot Dogs not be able to come back tonight, but they would get on the board. North Montgomery wins this one 54-6. Well, those games were sure something, but just like that, we are done with the first half of the highlight portion of our show. But don't worry, we still have a few more games to cover, so don't go anywhere. Because after this short timeout, we'll see matchups for Carroll, West Lafayette, Pioneer, and more. So stick around, because trust me, you don't want to miss these games.